Thank you for that. We are now cutting across to news that we are just getting. We are hearing that the Embassy of India in Kyiv has asked Indians, particularly students whose stay is not essential, to leave Ukraine temporarily in view of uncertainties of the current situation. This is an advisory that has been issued to all Indian nationals in Ukraine. As we've been speaking about this issue, there are close to about 20,000 students from India who are believed to be studying in Ukraine. I'm going to read out the advisory that's been issued. Now, the government of India says that in view of uncertainties of the current situation in Ukraine, Indian nationals in Ukraine, particularly students whose stay is not essential, may consider leaving temporarily. Niranjan is now joining me from Mumbai for more on this. Niranjan, unexpected lines, because we have seen a large amount of uncertainty play out in Ukraine, with the US saying that it's almost sure that there will be an attack.
Well, that's correct, and you saw the statement that came on Facebook this morning, and Ukraine is anticipating an attack as early as Tuesday, Wednesday, in the next few days, and this is the advisory that the Indian government has just put out, and several students are trapped there, and I have the advisory of the Indian government, the Embassy of India in Kyiv, saying in view of the uncertainties of the current situation in Ukraine, Indian nationals in Ukraine, particularly students whose stay is not essential, may consider leaving temporarily. Temporarily being the key word. Indian nationals are also advised to avoid all non-essential travel to and within Ukraine. Indian nationals are requested to keep the embassy informed about the status of their presence in Ukraine to enable the embassy to reach them where required. The embassy continues to function normally to provide all services to Indian nationals in Ukraine. It's a statement that's come out this morning. It's a big breaking news update. And I think the important point also to note here is that India has made it clear that the embassy will continue to function. So we are not moving out our diplomatic staff. And I think that's the first breaking news update. I'd like to get Abhishek or Shravan live on the story right now. This is a big breaking news update. And let me tell you that students, some of whom also spoke to Republic TV, requesting the government. In fact, yesterday on Republic, they made that request, asking for the government to intervene. So it's 24 hours after students appeal, via Republic, the government also asking them to consider leaving temporarily. And this is the statement the government has said, that is the embassy. The embassy has said that in view of the uncertainties of the current situation, Indian nationals, particularly students whose stay is not essential, may consider leaving temporarily. Indian nationals are also advised to avoid all non-essential travel to and within Ukraine. Indian nationals are requested to keep the embassy informed about the status of their presence in Ukraine to enable the embassy to reach them where required. The embassy continues to function normally to provide all services to Indian nationals in Ukraine. So our diplomatic staff will continue to stay there. Our embassy will continue to remain open. Abhishek, students, some of whom were live on Republic TV yesterday, I think exactly about 24 hours ago, appealing for the Indian government to intervene. They have been asked to evacuate or rather leave or consider leaving Ukraine temporarily. Abhishek.
Well, yes, Niranjan, so this is an advisory to Indian nationals in Ukraine, and it's given by the Embassy of India in Kyiv. And it says that in view of the uncertainties of the current situation in Ukraine, Indian nationals, particularly students, are advised to not carry out non-essential travel. And even if they want, they can consider leaving temporarily. Also, that in case of any travel, they should keep the embassy informed of their status in Ukraine. So I think a precautionary advisory being issued by the embassy, given the fact that the students had raised concerns and there was some lack of clarity as to what is the stance insofar as our mission there is concerned. So this statement is coming in, Niranjan, by way of an advisory, and hopefully it would be listened to by students, about 15 to 20,000 of them, who are studying in various courses across Ukraine. This was expected, given the rising of temperatures we have seen over the last 48 hours, Niranjan. In fact, we broke last evening how the president of Ukraine, Mr. Zelensky, in a televised post, actually pinned February 16th, Wednesday, that is tomorrow, as the date that could be possibly chosen by the Russian side to carry out an attack. Whether it was based on precise information on the part of Ukrainians or whether the information came in through their allies, particularly the United States, that was left unsaid. But what is important is that the situation is tense on the ground and the precautionary measures are in order. And I think that's why, after almost a dozen odd nations and more having issued similar advisories to their respective citizens to be cautious and to desist from non-essential travel and, if need be, to temporarily leave Ukraine through whichever port of and airport they can leave. I think India also following a suit, and now this advisory coming in from the Embassy of India in Kyiv.
Abhishek, you know, there is, I'm just taking our viewers through this website. This is the embassy site in Ukraine, India in Ukraine, where there is an advisory which talks about what students can do and how the embassy will keep functioning. But at the bottom of the screen, and that's the page that I wanted to go to, I think I just skipped that screen there. Let me just go back. Let me go back to that screen. When you scroll down here, there is a registration form for Indian citizens in Ukraine. And once you click on that form, this is for swift evacuation. This is a registration form for Indian citizens in Ukraine, and it says, with an intent to coordinate with Indian citizens, effectively disseminate information in a swift manner, Embassy of India, Kyiv requests all Indian citizens, including students presently located in the territory of Ukraine, to fill up the form below. Those students presently pursuing online education from India are directed not to fill up the form. And it is a form that was made, operational earlier in January, so that they can monitor the situation closely to ensure that all updates are given. And if you are a student who's stuck in Ukraine, here's what you can do. You can fill in your email address and whether you're living in Ukraine, your full name, etc., age, gender, passport number, and your location in Ukraine, and the embassy will be in touch with you. So this is a form that is on the website as well, on the Embassy of India website in Ukraine. So I just wanted to bring to our viewers the attention to their attention this particular document that is made available on the India in Ukraine website. That's eoiukraine.gov.in. So that's the embassy site, and the advisory has just gone out. The advisory has just gone out to Indian nationals who are in Ukraine, most of whom are students. Let me see if Abhishek is still with us. I'll try and go across to him and get a question from him. Abhishek, now, how many students are roughly present in Ukraine? And do we have some sort of an official, I mean, they've been asked to consider leaving temporarily, but do we know whether the government of India has or will take efforts to bring them out? Abhishek. Okay, Abhishek is just joining us, in just a few seconds. I'd like to go across and play out what the Ukrainian president said earlier today while anticipating an attack on Wednesday. And if I can, before that, I'll quickly get in a word from Abhishek as well. Abhishek, if you're there, what do we know about how many students, Indian students that is, are presently in Ukraine, and whether there will be some sort of a program perhaps, or an operation, or an exercise to bring them out, or whether as of now they have been asked to perhaps leave on their own?
Well, yes, Niranjan. So I have checked with the Ministry of External Affairs here, and the view is that the advisory has been issued as a precautionary measure, and that as of now there is no need for a government-initiated evacuation drive. The situation is evolving, obviously, and if some action happens, it could deteriorate from here. But then, given the fact that diplomacy is still on and that both the sides have not given up on it, we had President Putin also, in fact, approving of more diplomacy to his foreign minister Sergei Lavrov yesterday evening. Though, of course, in the same window, we had President Zelensky of Ukraine actually putting down February 16, that is tomorrow, as the possible date of attack, and he has called for a National Unity Day. Whether it is just posturing, whether it is just brinkmanship, whether it is just anticipating with some anxiety. I think what is important is that sources tell us, Niranjan, that the government of India, through the Ministry of External Affairs and its mission in Kyiv, is keeping a close tab on the emerging situation. If need be, evacuations can be carried out. We have done so earlier a couple of times, including in Yemen and even the Vande Bharat mission post the COVID pandemic. And the same effort can be put in again if need be. But sources tell us that as of now, it's wait and watch. But as a precautionary measure, about 15 to 20,000 Indian citizens, include predominantly students who are studying in Ukraine, mostly in medical and medicine courses. They have been advised that they should first limit their non-essential movement from wherever they are and keep the embassy informed if they move out. Also, if they can, if need be, they can consider temporarily moving out of Ukraine. Since the flights are on, there are no restrictions whatsoever, at least till now, in terms of people moving around both within Ukraine as also, if they want, they can. If they want, they can leave the country as well.
Yeah.